asking and answering of questions.
Question number 81, to be asked the MP for West New Georgia and Bona Bona. Have the floor, sir.
Thank you, sir. I rise to ask question number 81, standing in my name in today's order paper. The question is directed to the Honourable Minister for Infrastructure and Development. And the question reads, what steps is the Ministry taking to ease the traffic jam east of King George to the airport area? Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Member. Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and thank you to the Honourable for Member of Parliament for West New Georgia, Bona Bona, and to everyone ordering that. Yes, the Ministry has definitely taken the current issue law East Road there. And we are working on it. It is the sad to admit, but failure of past administration for no looking no future come where doing one single lane both ways, and it should have been at least two ways. But since construction have already complete, we are currently talking to our developing partners to see if we can expand that road. But in the interim, short-term measures where the Ministry is looking at carrying out is we'll be rolling out the Road Transport Board patrol soon. Vehicles have already been branded, sirens on top, so we should be helping the police in collaboration with HCC and the Ministry of Police from Vala conducting small patrols and talking a lot of people at Papaka Road. A lot of the issues caused by some of the buses too, in blocking what place, but all still traffic U-turn, park wrong, Tanya Osem, man cross the road, Wakabot Osem and Wakabot is a house blame. So a lot of these issues we've taken into consideration, and the ministries will be working on it. A more long-term measure is we have secured funds for a feasibility study where will be carried out soon for another route, a link from outside go outcome through Betikama, outcome Kobito, around Kawakasim, White River, an alternative connecting existing routes to try and see if we can create another alternative route. So a feasibility study, we've secured funds for that. They should commence soon on that feasibility study. And once we have that report, we should seek funds for we start Wakalerna. But in the interim, all the best we can do is that we will start patrolling that site for Stopumna or man for Pakaragya. Ministry has acquired a tow truck already. So that man you park wrong, you something, you tow truck blue, come down low MID, you pay him fine before you take them back. So I hope that answers the question. Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Minister. The Honourable MP for East Joseph.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Yeah, the Minister is correct. I think the issue of the AC, really poor design of that fellow road, that stretch of road. There. So, Haram, one of Mr. Talam, the other alternative is to put another road onto there. Was it possible just do another study more for probably it's cheaper to just put the restructure the current road, because the middle island and big too much, put him another road more. Also, reduce it at one, probably you can get another 2 lanes from both sides. So. That could be an alternative, maybe cheaper approach than a bigger road. Not a road, which would be very expensive. But the Minister is correct. It is poorly designed, that road. So other infrastructures that look at the sample development partners give you. Thank you, Morgan, for give you. But I think there was not much of consultations between ministries when some of these infrastructures are designed, some at the states, and maybe cabinet needs to be involved as well too, or this one, so that the ministers comment on it. That never happened, Mr. Speaker. So just this alternative is maybe look at the current road, and maybe redesign it, maybe cheaper that way than another road on top of it. Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable MP for East Joseph. Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Member of Parliament for North East Choizo for raising it. Yes, we are currently in discussions with the development partners for looking if support for any help expanding road, but nothing has been concrete yet. Once the discussions are concrete, we will inform our general public and look at how we are putting it as one of our priorities, especially with the 50th birthday of the country coming up. We want to make sure that traffic flow that side and flow railway. So yes, current discussions are ongoing. Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Minister. Honourable MP for West Harare.
Thank you, Speaker. Thank you, Minister. Supplementary question before that. I think what is true so embracing, yeah, because time for from Rotia ko apo because one day ne big no but I just sort of temporary put him no more. I got science become him small for one lane. So I think that to me a way out. My question is in addition to that time you consider maybe some fella way for out the main road. They have to stop now because everyone or some fellow will get a suit go out no more, but okay for follow on because I got to go Kasim around about road there. That's one. Second is, are you considering the federal law preacher no more? Maybe if that is sort of looked after, maybe by him also isim that traffic going up to Henderson. Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you, Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Chairman, for the Bills and Legislative Committee. Yes, all those options are being looked at the moment with our development partners, and we're discussing. And thank you too for raising that feeder road at the back. Yeah? I will ensure that the ministry also considers it while waiting for the discussions, but we try improve a little bit through. And so, and also, me like to let you aside that the ministry will be also be bringing the amendment of the Road Transport Act. We'll also have whereby ministries have put in regulations on the number or the year make of the vehicle for imitra limiting now number of vehicles who are coming into the country as well. So for example, if anything that's built or manufactured before 2010 or so, I'm not allowed for entire country, because at the moment those are some of the measures that we are also looking at to try and reduce the number of vehicles that are currently on the road. Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Minister. Honourable MP for East Harare.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and thank you, Minister, for the answers. Thank you for the member for the question. I think in terms of the interim measures currently, yes, it's very welcoming. Finding here, Baragut, finding on the spot or tow truck, then impound them, and then you have to come and pay penalty for release. I think that one in the interim, I think that's really helpful in terms of enforcing that one here. My question is with regards to the bus stops, because I think bus stops seems to be one of the big issues. Stuck a lot of places, what the hold-ups for traffic here. So I was thinking about designated bus stops areas here. Example, no more King George, roundabout new one no more there. Place for bus stop, I'm also a little bit ahead, but every bus has stop no more bara right low. Roundabout Patia Street no more. I mean, there's crossing there maybe. So for people go out there, they really want to get out where the crossing is or something. No, but I think the change of behavior for people who have to talk about a little bit 10 meters no more for cross no more kind of thing. What now might be ministry might look at putting physically on the place for blocking buses no go look at the place but go right designated bus stops. The other one that's probably looking just daily driving no more is buses not necessarily stop in but not stop out. So they don't really drive in Golo Bay, the bay. What other plans the ministry for perhaps enforcing that one more strongly? And the one me go up Sinuia. There's a big crossing right in the middle of that highway. There, maybe things like lighting, or say maybe good for putum night there. And once again, we're noticing buses are stopping before the crossing. So Ako the passengers go out there, look mo, lo front lo basi mo before la go crossing road mo. Maybe I don't know what the law is. Maybe minister can clarify whether bus stops should be past crossings, so that oncoming traffic can see who's waiting to be crossing and not be blocked by the bus stopping before the crossing here now. A little bit of some hazardous. I'm sure there's some. Ako the bus driver naman no papaklo right place block I think, but. The question is what are the compliance kind of provisions that ministry might guarantee for forcing mo kata bus stop for papaklo right designated places below kata. Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Minister, the Member of Parliament for East Ararai for raising those very important questions. Yes, I think it's fair to say that a lot of the traffic congestion is not merely caused by road potholes here. A lot of it is how we road users are behaving too. And that is why that currently the Road Transport Act doesn't give us a real power, even police from fine and infringing people. Because it's so well outdated. I'm talking about auto carriageway and horse tracks and everything. And so that is why we're hoping next year, we are already we've already started the process in collaboration with the Ministry of Police to start looking at what we will include it inside the act there. And we're hoping to build it in, bring it into Parliament next year. Hopefully second quarter or so, we should bring the Road Amendment Act now. But in the interim, the Road Transport Board will start patrolling, raising awareness and all of that. The side of parking with buses, because at the moment, we don't have road signages. And in our budget for 2026, that's one of the things we've included in, is to make sure that we have signages along our roads. Do not park here, no parking zones, bus stop zones, and every place we have demarcated for. Park, have no place for you park. Because at the moment you arresting someone, you can't infringe them because there's no sign saying that, oh, you should not park here. Or there's no demarcation saying that, oh, place for park or no park. And those are the things where me for the ministry and police, we feel a little bit no guaranteed for bite because of the act is outdated. But work is starting. As soon as that comes on board, we will push for make sure that hopefully second sitting next year, we will bring him come to Parliament, especially for the management of our roads. And so yes, that's one of the things that this act will look at addressing. And our hope in starting reviving PWD is for start with the road marking first time, and for lining up what places, yes, so that example, like in overseas where you have yellow zone and place you're not allowed for park, white, not marking white and place for park, and then awareness, and then with the act come on board, we first start for implementing and start infringing people where no like here talk. But in the interim, hopefully by end of this year or early next year, awareness will start with the Road Transport Board patrol. About to go basi pakrong at one immune. In park straight, because if next time come around, time after him pass, if I amend him pass, we will come arrest him. So the time in pass him act there, to the bill, we may have to wait more for the grace period for him enact him bill. If same time pass him there, roll him out. Hope that answers your question, Minister.
Thank you, Honourable Minister. Any further comments? Thank you, Honourable MP for West Ararai.
Thank you, Speaker. Thank you, Minister. Me happy for hearing more at the workshop. Take more at the past contactors, even at passes the tax drivers as well, waiting police and ministry. Not forget them on your city council. Okay, now I think guaranteed at the moment, yeah. Lo road me sometimes me drive up time traffic heavy pa you look him o kata bus o kata take him the upper the footpath na lane mo minus sa hano ko sa dream pa you look him o kata on top because o kata ride on that footpath, and I think that is something that needs to be taken care of, that there may be some follow no sa traffic rules or time traffic hem awesome or allowed for doing that one. No. So I'm very encouraged that get the stakeholders in and resolve more the issues. Make them hemi level health 18 problemi mi kalam la traffic. Just a comment, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable. Comments, Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Chairman of the Bills Legislative Committee. Yes, so all of these issues here, road usage here, now by this, hopefully this amendment will help us solve it. And yes, we are, the Road Transport Board is a collaboration between police, Ministry of Infrastructure and HCC, where Okateron and the Ministry of Finance and other relevant ministries, where it's a collaboration for this road transport board. So hopefully we'll bring it to your good committee next year there with the amendments. But thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. Honorable Member for West New Georgia, if you wish to acknowledge the responses by the Minister.
Thank you, sir. I thank the Honourable Minister in his response and also acknowledge his vision in addressing our roads. Also, I want to thank the other colleagues, members that have contributed in this supplementary question. Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Member. Let us move on to our next item of business.
Bills, second reading, 2026 Appropriation Bill 2025.
Honourable members, the debate on the 2026 Appropriation Bill 2025 continues today, and the House is again reminded that the second reading debate of the Appropriation Bill must be confined to the financial and economic state of Solomon Islands and the general principles of government policy and administration as indicated by the bill's and estimates. The floor is now open for debate. Thank you, Honourable Minister for Fisheries. You have the floor, sir.
Mr. Speaker, thank you for allowing me to rise also to contribute to the debate on the 2026 Appropriation Bill 2025. Mr. Speaker, may stand up here for join others, members of Parliament who have spoken for thanking the Minister of Finance and his officials. Mr. Speaker, may like reiterating too much this time that Minister of Finance is working, the new Minister of Finance is working very, very hard to change the routine budget that we talk about workers in this time. Me in Parliament for the last, now going 16 years in Parliament. And I think the way things are slowly popping up is, I think it's gearing towards, look at by me right. We've been in this situation for a long time. And other speakers have raised a lot of things that through our country and the people of this country are victim the way these leaders will make the decisions in our ministries. That me like for reiterating here, Mr. Speaker, say. And so me just like for thanking Minister of Finance, the new Minister of Finance and his officials. Please change the way we approach the budget. And by me looking back, outcome by him good. That's my first one. Also, me to forget him, others who worked out, the Minister of Planning and his Minister of Planning and Development Coordination and others who have participated, the Public Accounts Committee, the chair yesterday, him spoke very, very good. I think he knows his role, so him, but something that I believe people listening and leaders in relation to this Honourable House. Mr. Speaker, the Honourable Minister of Finance and Treasury in the presentation will hand. Budget articulated overarching theme of the 2026 budget as accelerating economic transformation, resourcing the resourced to drive economic growth and sustainable development. The theme calls for fiscal responsibility, discipline and stability through effective collaboration across the whole of government to strengthen our resilience to achieve sustainable economic growth and to strengthen delivery of service to our people and throughout the country. Colleague ministers argued that the budget theme focuses on boosting the productivity of key strategic sectors to help diversify economic and improve future growth and development prospect. Mr. Speaker, I cannot agree more. Indeed, the theme is inclusive, forward-looking, and people-centered. one that continues to promote investments, build infrastructure, and create jobs, one that continues to address issues that resonate with everyday struggle of our people. This is very, very true. The Speaker said the 2026 budget will indeed allow people to build resilience in our systems by increasing investment in key infrastructure to promote economic diversification and transformational economic growth, and contributing strongly to improve the well-being of our people. Mr. Speaker, sir, me just like to talk about the implementation by Ministry of Fisheries and Marine Resources by the fellow Mr. Speaker, sir, let me update the Honourable House on the implementation progress on the Ministry of Fisheries key projects for 2025. Mr. Speaker, seaweed farming continues to receiving priority allocation. In 2020-24, 7 million was allocated to boost the industry, and in 2025, a further $11 million were allocated. With increased budgetary support, current number of seaweed farmers in the country have increased from 1,445 farmers in December 2024 to 2,367 farmers at the end of October 2025. What a good news. Thank you for the last government. Effort of the last government, increasing this one. And we must continue. Our dried seaweed production stands up to 5 tons from annual production of 2,500 tons in 2024. In terms of revenue, our export earnings for 2025 up to and including October is about $31 million compared to the total revenue of $20 million secured in 2024. Mr. Speaker, sir, the increase in production and revenue we now achieved stemmed only from the $7 million received in 2024. With 2025 funds, about $7 million were just paid out to successful bidders for seaweed material and equipment. Therefore, procurement is currently ongoing, and delivery of goods to farm sites will be carried out in the first quarter in 2026, Mr. Speaker said. Mr. Speaker, with this steady progress of socio-economic benefit to our people, GNAT has committed further $13 million in the 2026 budget to support the continuous expansion of the seaweed industry in 2026. I will provide details of our 2026 operation plan later in my speech. Mr. Speaker, sir, the 2026 budget, with the continuous increased production of the dried seaweed, will be looking to process seaweed in country. Here we export the processed product as seaweed gel. To process in a country, we will be processing machines in 2026. This is a plan for Ministry for Mass and add value to the product that we have. We are currently working with our local investors to secure supplies to procure a processing machine. Mr. Speaker, I plan to invest in processing machines for value adding of seaweed products, so as strengthening our seaweed program with the government of Indonesia. Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Fisheries, including the Marine Sciences Institute that has an active community seaweed farming program. Indonesia seaweed experts have been providing capacity building support to the Ministry of Fisheries and Marine Resources seaweed officers over the past few years, and that technical support will continue into 2026 as we introduce our in-country processing of dry seaweed. We come to talk about, Mr. Speaker, Bina Haba. Bina Haba tuna onshore processing project. Mr. Speaker, sir, me stand up here for thank the Minister of Finance who give allocation ever of $103 million for Bina Haba. Me thank you, Mr. Thomas. Bina Haba is a long-term talk. And the supplementary, we have asked for 30 million, it was given to us as well. And the question raised, 30 million, how by him grow? Of course, we get another $103 million. So Bina Hamba, of course, somebody around this chamber who questioned about Bina Hamba, it will grow and grow now. Thank you for the $103 million. In 2025, we achieved the following under 4 different areas of work, namely land access and community relations and environment. Completed indigenous terrain mapping, IT work for the Bina village and Kwai Lenga water source. Facilitated the Bina Talifu Land Trust Board Incorporated Annual General Meeting to cover the periods of 2022, 2023 and 2024. Submitted a consolidation report on the perpetual estate of the 6 land parcels of Bina Talifu land into one single parcel to the Commission of Lands. Undertook profiling and evaluation study for the Bina village in preparation for the resettlement of villages to allow the invasion of the domestic wharf and the international wharf. Support Bina Talifu Land Trust Board Incorporated host in 2025 annual general meeting. Completed beneficiary mapping work for the Bina village. Geotech studies, both land and marine geotech completed in 2025. All the data from these studies are currently being issued for concept design and report. The material study, the BHPO and the MID have completed the study of the materials that is available around South Road of Malaita. These investigations identified potential sites for extracting materials to support the construction work that have been planned for the project. Level loggers are now installed to record tide levels at 5-minute intervals over 3 months. This verification will add in understanding tide levels and the patterns affecting marine infrastructure and land-based work form part of the hazards assessment report. Coastal inundation assessments were previously conducted based on tides from Buma Port 2 kilometers northwest of Bina Harbour. However, because small differences in the tide can affect storm tide levels and the ground levels that need to be filled, this verification was conducted closer to the site. Following that, the tidal monitoring level loggers may be utilized by groundwater monitoring in the piezometers already installed on site. Ongoing activity and will continue into 2026. Additional topographic has been completed, showing the end of the east side of the site to support further flood modeling to confirm flood levels and fuel requirements. Theo's information also feeds into the concept design report. This activity has been completed in November. The study allows further undertaking of the ground conditions of the site, which information continued is useful for the upcoming detailed design work on the project. Sharp contract Fluvio has completed installing the stream gauging flow monitoring equipment at the Fiwa, Loa Loana and Kwai Lenga sites. They have also installed Starlink cameras and a large solar farm at all 3 sites to upload data. Daya tracing was conducted in the Sugalo Bina River to understand the source. An international consultant, Worley, is currently undertaking an environmental and social characterization of the Bina project site. This is an important aspect of the project as it allows a good understanding of the existing conditions of the site and prepares project's development process to consider and adopt mitigation measures that will ensure worse conditions for the current conditions. Krama Asia Pacific and Haskoning Australia Joint Design Team presented to the Technical Working Group on October 8, 2025 regarding the development of the 30% concept design report. The draft 30% CDR was submitted to the BHPO on the 3rd November and shared with the Ministry of Fisheries and Marine Resources and MFAT and the Government Technical Working Group for the review and comment with an undated version expected at the end of November. A copy was also provided to subcontractor WT Partnership, an Australian-based cost management and a quality surveying company to complete the cost estimate and deliver the cost plan. A planned TWG meeting to review the CBR and the cost plan is scheduled for the 11th of December 2025. Identify Bina investors and tuna supply partners and development partners. Mr. Speaker, sir, concluded a non-disclosure agreement with 2 of the 4 largest vertically integrated tuna industry firms globally. Commenced technical exchanges with those firms, which is helping to define Bina Hamba infrastructure needs and to test the proposed allocation of fishing days and the associated rebate scheme. Concluded non-disclosure agreement with the development partners, New Zealand, Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Trade, for Trade, Australia Infrastructure and Financing Facility for the Pacific, and the Economic Investment Bank. Concluded a memorandum of understanding with Kiribati and Tuvalu to work towards tuna supply agreement for the Bina Harbour tuna plant in Kiribati case. This includes exploring how Kiribati might take an equity share in the tuna operation. Meaning that Kiribati already signed and willing for giving tuna for this proposed process of Bina. We have signed already the agreement, which is good. DPM, thank you, DPM, Taham Golom meeting, him was signing. And currently in discussion with the federal states of Micronesia and now to explore possible tuna supply of the MOUs here. The Speaker said the Bina Harbour tuna processing plant project is thus at the forefront of the East New Britain initiative, a concept endorsed by Pacific Island leaders for collaboration between the tuna-rich Pacific Island countries to capture more of the tuna value chain through uploading and processing the tuna catch in the region. The Speaker said going forward in 2026, the following technical investigation and planning will continue. Finalize master lease with Bina Talifu Land Trust Board, Commissioner of Lands and the Attorney General Chamber, signing of the master lease between Trust Board and Commissioner of Lands, completion of beneficiary mapping work for the harbour and the water source, registration of trust entities of the Bina Harbour, Bina Village Harbour and the water source, registering of commercial basis companies for the trust entities, Bina Talifu Land Board, Bina Village Harbour and water source. Facilitation of socio-economic studies for the Greater Bina region to capture data, record to assist project design and future planning, support the BHTTP project with the resettlement plan implementation. In terms of design and planning work, the key activities are planned into 2026: site studies, hydrological data, collection of hydrological data. Note that the hydrological data requires at least 12 months of data collection to ensure there is quality data to confirm the feasibility study of water resources and required of the project. The study will also be finalized in quarter 1, 2026. The BHPO will working closely with the consultant of its review and finalizing the document. Tidal data collection will continue into 2026. There will be a need to quantify and check the quality of the materials that is available on the South Road. The availability of the material closer to the Bina project site should support construction planning, design, cost and planning, pending the review of the current CDR and the cost plan. The BHPO will continue to refine and design the cost plan to support the business case. Detailed design, also heading the process of the business case, and the SIGs confirming the ownership of the asset, which or such as the port, water supply and power. The BHPO will continue to provide the support to the progressing the design to ensure Somaliland government's minimal requirements on the infrastructure are maintained. Early works. The early works package is currently being reviewed by BHPO after the finalization of the CDR and the cost plan. The BHPO will review the Ministry of Fisheries and Marine Resources so that the list of work packages with the ministry priorities for the project can be finalized. The following are some of the most likely early works in 2026. Binahamba aids to navigation, establishing the navigational aid to support navigation through the passage to support the construction work, relocation planning, site clearance, and decanting, clearance including vegetation, and relocating of structures within the construction zones may also require replacement of houses in the alternative sites. Platform and the overland flow works. A tuna processing plant. The process site for the tuna processing plant will require raising to design levels. This would require significant value of materials or for fill. Also note that this activity will require some detailed discussions between the BHPO and the Ministry of Fisheries and Marine Resources. A platform and overflow works, infrastructure and accommodation. The civil works package would include site preparation for the port, accommodation, solar plant sites. This would again require significant volume of materials to fill. Establish road work, design and construction of the road network purposely for construction. Establish borrow feeds. This activity is tied with the material study in one above. Once the material quantity and the quality established, the borrow pits will be established, as these established pits would support the field requirements for the platform and the overflow works above. Auki. South Road rectification work part of the Auki. South Malaita Road at the project site has been eroding. It is important that there is a collaboration with the MID on this activity. Minister Heraka, Minister MID was head of camp. This section of the road runs adjustment to the TPP site, and this is a good early works investment that will support the TPP site to the mitigation of flooding for the area. Provide community support to contractors on the ground at Bina for the smooth implementation of the project activities. Concluding agreement with Bina investors, Tuna's supply partners and development partners. In February, we expect to seek indication of interest from several development partners to enter into a loan grant arrangements for the financing of Bina Harbour port infrastructure and utilities, power, water, and road, etc. By end of second quarter, we expected to enter into a loan and a grant negotiation with a coalition of development partners. At the end of second quarter, we expected to secure the ongoing support of the International Finance Corporation to serve the sovereign governments. Transition advisors for the Bina Harbour development, recovering design and management of the rebate scheme development and negotiation of the operating concession and negotiation and the conclusion of the tuna supply agreements with other Pacific Island countries. By third quarter, we expect to conclude tuna supply agreements with 2 or more of the Pacific Island countries and to facilitate equity participation on the tuna processing operation for Kiribati. By third quarter in 2026, we expect to offer the Bina Harbour concession globally, shortlist qualified investors, conclude a concession agreement for operation of the tuna plant with a global tuna industry firm. By fourth quarter, we expect the Somaliland government to secure the financing requirement for the port and the utilities in infrastructure. Mr. Speaker, despite the challenges to bring Bina into fruition, the Bina plant is forecast to secure profit for the USD 400 million over 15 years in economic benefits from the estimated cash flow to the government, salaried workers, the processing plant operator, and the fishing vessels operating company. Mr. Speaker, sir, I call on all of us around this chamber and the people in around Bina area to work together. Send this call me like people around Bina area and Malaita Premier Executive. We must work together for making Bina and become a successful. Minister of Foreign Affairs and to make it work. Yeah, Minister Biden will make it work. If you listen, Biden will make it work. We will do our very best. And we calling him around this, this chamber for supporting this for a very important project. Well, so okay, and then, all in all, Mr. Speaker said the Bina Harbour project gives effort to the economic transformational policy the China government is pursuing. The Speaker said, let me now turn to the other development projects we pursue into 2025 in the GIFT Tilapia development project. The Speaker said that GIFT Tilapia development project at Arulego is another priority project. In 2025, we focused on the completion of the 6 staff houses to ensure our staff are on the ground before the hatchery becomes fully functional. Currently, 2 staff houses were now completed, and the other 2 are 70% complete and will finish soon. Construction of the 5th house just started, and the construction of the 6th house and the final house is just awarded last week. These 2 houses will complete in early 2026. Our intention also to import GIFT tilapia seeding this year was not possible due to technical difficulties at the end of the supply. These difficulties are now sorted, and the importation will soon will now take place in the first quarter of 2026. Mr. Speaker, let me now turn to other 4th initiative, the sea cucumber mariculture. Mr. Speaker, in this year 2025 budget speech 2024, my predecessor, thank you, my predecessor, for informing this honourable House that the investor has invested in the commercial mariculture of sea cucumbers. I'm happy to report that investor has made considerable progress on to date. Since March 2025, more than 1 million juvenile sandfish sea cucumber has been produced. And this one, Humble Choizolia, Thank you, Mr. Investor. The produce, and these are now being transferred from hatchery tanks into detailed reefs where they continue to grow. Mr. Speaker, sir, hatchery runs continued since October, and about 2 million larvae have been produced and reared in hatchery. Larvae will continue to die as they go through their respective level stages, but the company is hopeful that through proper care and husbandry practices, mortality rate will be low. Mr. Speaker, the company is hopeful that should the current good performances continues into 2026. It intends to conduct the first export to China by mid-2026. This is great news, Mr. Speaker, as this serves as a new stream of revenue for the country. In the meantime, my ministry is working with the company to be registered into General Administration of Customs, People's Republic of China, and the GACC Registry of Companies. The Speaker said the good progress provided by the investor cannot be achieved without the support of the Tresol federal government and the good people of Tresol. May I thank him, Premier and his executive, and the people of Constituency for supporting this for the program here. A special thanks also to the Minister for Commerce and Industry, Labour and Immigration, Honourable Hari Kumar, and his people of Northwest Tresol constituency by hosting the company mariculture facility. I call on you, all my good people of Tresol, to continue supporting this important commercial undertaking as we continue to create and develop initiatives that contribute to our economic and social well-being of our people. Mr. Speaker, sir, we have more than 30 commercial species of sea cucumbers that can be linked themselves to commercial mariculture. In this regard, some islands welcome more investors to invest in the sea cucumber mariculture space or in any other mariculture undertaking of interest. Mr. Speaker, let me now provide an update on the last project, the Noro Economic Port or E-Port project. The Speaker said, while the other projects discussed concerning creating investment for economic returns, this project concerns the digitalization of the country's monetary control, surveillance, and the CATS documentation scheme. Processes to ensure effective enforcement of our laws. This is a homegrown initiative, the first in the region amongst a handful globally. For 2025, the following progress has been made. The completion and opening of the new MCS building in Noro. That's an Nigo Attendum. The new and the Prime Minister, the new office will house our e-port system to ensure legal documentation of our fish accountancy system. The completion of the TOR to ensure the work of a developer to develop more system models under the second phase of the project. The support of our e-port work, a new IT officer has been recruited for Noro. Equality, a new Assistant Deputy Director of SOAR has securely been recruited, noting the increased responsibilities under a record under the e-port project. The Speaker, this completes my update on the priority projects. Mr. Speaker, sir, let me now turn to the 26 budget estimates. Mr. Speaker, sir, my ministry in the 2026 recurrent budget stands $37 million. Of this, $14.8 million is for the payrolls charges and about $22.2 million for the other charges. The recurrent budget, Mr. Speaker, serves the 7th division of the Ministry of Fisheries. Mr. Speaker, under the development budget, we are allocated $1 $128.9 million to implement the 23 key activities under our 4 development programs, namely community fisheries and the livelihood programs, $19.3 million. Fish export infrastructure and fisheries centers program, $6 million. Narrow Eport project, $600,000. Bina Hamba Tuna processing plant project, also Mitalam today, the first ever bus allocation, the $103 million. Thank you, government, for seeing this fit for giving this Salina Golo Bina Hamba project. The Speaker said these programs addresses the following 4 GNAT policy areas for the fisheries and agriculture. These are ensuring sustainable management of our fisheries and marine resources, developing our fisheries to ensure we derive maximum benefits from our fisheries, effective enforcement of our laws, ensure that we control of our resources, building the capacity of the Ministry of Fisheries and Marine Resources for effective delivery of our mandate and services to our people. Mr. Speaker said in 2026, our program projects will focus on the following: our community fisheries and livelihood program. Three key projects: GIF, the tilapia hatchery, $4.7 million to complete all 4 houses, and importation of GIF, the tilapia seedlings in early 2026. Cucumber hatchery, $500,000 to meet hatchery production and grow our expenses. Seaweed industry, $13 million to increase production by another 10 million to 15 million tons by 2027, and the procurement of the country processing machines. This is important to add value to the sea cucumber. This send me seriously life from me was doing next year now. Under the fish export infrastructure fishery centers programs, we will institutionalizing the Tamba, Lata, and Yandina fisher cooperatives. Allocation of that month is $1.4 million. Construction of guardhouse at guardhouse for Ministry of Fisheries and Marine Resources Headquarters, $200,000. Renovation of maintenance of Noro Staff House, $300,000. Design and the bill of quantity of Gizo Fishery Center, and $500,000. Support for backfilling of the Ministry of Fisheries and Marine seafront, $2.2 million. I think so. If I go around there, you will say we will do finish the backfilling law one side here, but we must do the front room, so we will get a special there. That's allocation for the $2.2 million. Construction of new staff house at Tulagi, $1.2 million as well, and the meetings outstanding payments to $200,000. Mr. Speaker, say under our 3rd program, the Noro Eport projects, support of $600,000 allocated to complete the project. The allocation activities will be implemented. Eport system development training, Ministry of Fisheries and Marine Resources, and ICTA staff, Australia for the long-term maintenance and sustenance of the system. A stakeholder consultation for integration of NFD and the salt tuna system, a workshop to enhance the integration process. Development of port entry and the transshipment levy module in the port system. Desktop review to initiate the Honera e-port plan and develop an e-port system cost recovery module. Develop manual for the e-port users. The Speaker said, and our 4th and the final program, the Bina Hamba Tuna Processing Plant project, the following activities will be undertaken. Support for establishment of a master lease of $3 million, establish the water supply and water trustees of $3 million, support for the harbor access activities of $3 million, support to identify potential investors, $1 million, environment and the social safeguard of the BHD PPP, $1 million, support for the office operation and administration, $1 million, identify development partners for infrastructure, funding $1 million, implement early works activities for the project site, 40 million in the construction of domestic wharf for project support, $50 million. Mr. Speaker, sir, these are activities to be implemented in 2026. All these juncture, let me applaud the GNAT. Let me raise GNAT for seeing this fit, for recognizing this important of BINA, very important of BINA. If you say what important BINA land, what it means. The 2026 budget is $103 million. For BINA is the biggest ever and it signals the government of serious commitment to deliver BINA to the people of Malaita and the country as a whole. Thank you, government, for seeing this fit. For the BINA project, many of the activities I mentioned in the update of BINA will be directly funded by New Zealand and the non-appropriated fund through the Johnston International Development JID, who manages the BINA Hamba tuna processing plant project office. The Speaker said, additional to our development budget estimates, the total budgetary support is about $53.3 million from both appropriated and non-appropriated sources, also provided generously to my ministry to fiercely support the implementation of our development programs in 2026. To this end, Mr. Speaker, sir, I sincerely acknowledge and thank the New Zealand and the World Bank group, including the IFC and Chipman, for their kind assistance. Mr. Speaker, sir, let me now turn to the revenue my ministry is expected to collect in 2026. Of the $563.1 million non-tax revenue collected expected to be collected by the ministry in 2026, my ministry is expected to collect the $366.8 million for Treasury. We will do our best to collect, and that is required of us, Mr. Speaker, sir. Mr. Speaker, sir, let me now respond to the recommendation 38 as provided in the PAC report for my ministry. In this regard, I acknowledge the chairman of the PAC, the honourable member of Central Honiara, and his committee for the excellent report presented to the honourable House earlier on. The committee urged the ministry to increase the number of fisheries officers to improve the technical advice and capacity. The ministry was advised to consider developing collaborative arrangements with constituencies for resources allocation, such as storage, SAIDs, and transportation. Mr. Speaker, I thank PAC for this recommendation. We will work together with the Ministry of Public Service to recruit more fisheries officers to increase our technical capacity to support our farmers. We will also work together with the constituencies to shoulder resources allocation to ensure delivery of services, including seaweed storage, transportation. On this note, we will pursue discussions with the Ministry of Rural Development to tap constituency development funding. Apart from the key recommendations, two others were provided in the report. The first committee recommended the ministry to follow the lead of the Ministry of Agriculture. Thank you, Mr. Ankasa. Maybe we have either by ministry following the recommendations of PAC in setting production set targets and proposing investment initiatives to cabinet to stimulate local processing and value adding. Mr. Speaker, sir, I thank PAC again for these recommendations. We will seek support from the Ministry of Agriculture as to set production targets coupled with defined investment initiatives. This will be crucial, and our aim is to implement in a country processing in 2026. The second and the committee recommendation the ministry established is a special fund account for the beneficiaries. This is important. The Minister of Finance, you must note in this one. It's provided for in the Fisheries Act to handle allocations and avoid procurements bottlenecks. One account must set aside now. If there's any way we can do it, Mr. Finance, this level of finance must look at him. The Speaker says some criticisms have been leveled at us that if we are not careful many of our projects will be failed, just like many others in the productive sector in the past. We are fully aware. We are fully aware of the recent past, and we are therefore strategic in approach. Mr. Speaker, sir, let me assure this Honourable House that this will not be in the case. The seaweed and the sea cucumber, we are working closely with our investors. Our investors are linked effectively with our farmers on the ground. The interaction between the farmers and the investors is effective. Our investors equally carry the burden to carry the industry. They are not opportunities, no more, to export the products, but play a crucial role in growing the industry. This is a strategy we have taken and currently implementing. Acknowledging our partners, Mr. Speaker, I finally, before I take my seat, let me acknowledge our partners. Mr. Speaker said the work I've outlined cannot be implemented and achieved by my staff alone. As I have alluded to earlier, we have development and the technical partners who stand shoulder to shoulder with us, providing the final support and building our in-house capacity to deliver. In this regard, I thank the people in the government of New Zealand, the people in the government of Japan, the people in the government of Australia, the people in the government of the United Kingdom, the World Bank Group, and the IFC, FFA, SBC, PNA, for the continued support of this year. Equally too, Mr. Speaker, sir, the many activities of our flagship projects are supported by competent technical advisors, both experts and locals. I wish to acknowledge them sincerely today for their undivided commitment in standing with us to progress many of our projects. Again, Mr. Speaker, I want to thank also Malaita Provincial Government and the people and the good people of Bina and surrounding communities, and the leader, Honourable colleague for West Kuya. Thank you for standing on behalf, taking people on site. You na I will minister and I will government there. So Honourable, me just like for sincerely thanking you for taking up that role. Into the work together, we have allocation here, and Honourable, me ask you when to get a little bit effort for making this done. We've been challenged, and that's how things are done. Time challenged, and you work strong enough for making things happen. And progress and plan project, and our good people in our legal who supports our tilapia hatchery work. Tresor Provincial Government and the people of North West Tresor, the leader, Honourable colleague, and Minister of Commerce and Minister of Commerce, who support to all our sea cucumber, mariculture investors, and the communities who have interacted with us in the implementation of our 2025 work plan. Our industry partners who contributed significantly to our revenue for the year, thank you. Thank you on behalf of the government. Thank you for the great support. To all of you, I look forward. I look forward to our continual work together in the 2026 to achieve the goals we have set ourselves to achieve. Thank you. Finally, Mr. Speaker, let me thank the Chilean government for allocating to my ministry a total appropriation recurrent development budget estimates of $165.9 million to deliver our work program in 2026. In review of this budgetary allocation, I wish to assure this Honourable House that my ministry will work very, very hard to deliver on its obligations to the government to meet the socio-economic needs of our people and the resource owners. Mr. Speaker, thank you very much, and I resume my seat.
Thank you, Honourable Minister. Could you let me give the floor to the Honourable Minister for Infrastructure Development? You have the floor, sir.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. Thank you for recognizing the Minister of Infrastructure and the Member of Parliament for Central Korai constituency. It is indeed a distinct honor and privilege for me to rise in this Honourable House to contribute to the debate of the 2026 Appropriation Bill and to speak in full support of the budget on behalf of my ministry and the Ministry of Infrastructure Development. This opportunity allows me to present to Parliament not only the allocations requested by my ministry, but also the deeper vision and rationale and the transformative agenda that guides our National Infrastructure Plan. Honourable Speaker, at the outset, I want to convey my sincere gratitude to the dedication of my staff at the Ministry of Infrastructure and Development for the formulation of the national budget. It is not an overnight engagement. It is enduring and process of collaboration, analysis, long-term planning, and a thorough review. Honourable Speaker, I also wish to thank and acknowledge the close cooperation extended to the Ministry of Infrastructure by the Minister of Finance, his Permanent Secretary, and the entire team at the Ministry of Finance. Their strong leadership and commitment to fiscal discipline have enabled us to prepare a budget that is realistic, responsible, and sustainable. Similarly, the Ministry for National Planning and Development Corporation deserves recognitions for the technical support, policy alignment, and development planning guidance that they have continuously provided us. Their willingness to push forward with genuine strategic and high-quality infrastructure investments that will shape our country for decades to come, particularly as we look towards celebrating 50 years of independence in 2028. Honourable Speaker, this year, the year 2028 is just not an anniversary year. It is a milestone of our national journey. It represents half a century of independence, resilience, struggles, achievement, and aspiration. The Government of National Unity and Transformation has made it clear that the road to our Golden Jubilee must be marked with visible and meaningful development progress. Infrastructure as the backbone of economic growth, national mobility is central to this commitment. Therefore, in the 2026 budget, it is more than a financial instrument. It is the blueprint for transformation, a statement of intent, and an investment in the future prosperity of our people. Honourable Speaker, the capital city of Honiara remains the beating heart of our national economy. It is home to the largest concentration of population, commerce, government institute, logistics hubs, and essential services. Unfortunately, it is also home to some of the oldest and most congested road networks in the country. Our road infrastructure, originally designed decades ago for a much smaller population, has been under immense pressure. Today we face challenges such as increased traffic volume, deteriorating pavement conditions, and rapid and urban expansion into East and West Honiara, and the escalating demand for safer and more accessible roads. This budget makes a strong and deliberate statement. Honiara roads must be continued to upgrade and modernize. Through the support of the major development programs, such as the Land and Maritime Connectivity Program, LMCP, the Community Access and Urban Service Enhancement Projects, Course 2, Solomon Islands Roads and Aviation Projects, the second phase, we will see the continuation of major rehabilitation and reconstruction works throughout the city. These programs have proven to be effective vehicles for delivering high-quality roadworks with strong community engagement and local employment. With these partnerships, we're looking at improving roads focusing mainly on Honiara. For example, one of the ones that we're looking at is the sealing of the Rove road up to Tasahe and then down to O1 bus stop. That's for 2026. We're also looking at sealing up the Vura Road, especially with the Naha Birthing Center about to be open. That's our priority for 2026 as well. Like for Otamami Bleumi, go through Rabis Road, but go for deliver, and Dadi too. So that's one of our priorities. One of the other priorities also is for the Bokona bridges, and also West Kola continuous sealing upgrades, and also the ongoing rehabilitation of feeder roads in suburban and settlements across and access across Honiara. Mr. Speaker, these works are essential not only for transport efficiency, but also for economic activity. Public safety, disaster resilience, and urban beautification. Roads reconnect our people and roads connect our people to markets, schools, clinics, and workplaces. When road fails, livelihoods suffer. When roads improve, development follows. Honorable Speaker, MID has also secured funding for feasibility study for the landmark Greater Honiara Connectivity Project, as I've mentioned earlier today during questions and answers, a project of national significance that will open up transport corridors between East and West Honiara. The proposed new road link from Betikama to White River will ease congestions along the main Kukum Highway, opening up new residential and commercial areas and provide alternative emergency routes. Additionally, feasibility work is ongoing for the White River to Lambi Ceiling Road. Feasibilities are already ongoing, so the people of West Guadalcanal, you have something to look forward for. It has been a long-anticipated infrastructure that will unlock the economic potential of Northwest Guadalcanal. This road will provide communities with improved access to market, reduce travel time to farmers, and create new opportunities for tourism and small businesses. Honorable Speaker, while Honiara receives such substantial investment due to this population pressure and economic importance, the Ministry has not lost sight of our constitutional principle of equitable development. Our provinces are the backbone of our cultural identity, our natural resources, and our agricultural potential. Infrastructure in these provinces is not a luxury, it is a necessity, Mr. Speaker. Through this budget, MID will deliver wharves, bridges, jetties, and rural roads across several provinces, including Isabel, Makira, Renol Bellona, and Choizo. Many existing wharves, bridges, and roads are old, damaged, or completely non-operational. This budget begins to address these infrastructure gaps in a structured and targeted manner. Honorable Speaker, GNAT has set forth an ambitious policy reforms, including the progression towards state government and establishment of special economic zones. These reforms will require adequate roads, bridges, energy system ports, communication infrastructure to thrive. MID's role is central to enabling these transitions. I also wish to acknowledge with deep appreciation the extraordinary contribution of the government and people of the Republic of China through funding the Auki Township Project, a transformative initiative that modernizes and beautifies Auki, improves market infrastructure, creates new public space, and reshape Malita's provincial capital into a thriving urban center. Also, MID will conduct 5-kilometer ceiling towards Bina Harbour, and also ongoing rehabilitation road works of that is currently ongoing. So MID is in fact committed to Bina Harbour as well in support to the Ministry of Fisheries. I must also commend the contractor for the Auki project, Mr. Speaker, for employing 120 local workers, providing much needed jobs, skills transfer, and income for families during the implementation of the Auki Township project. So thank you to the current contractor, CCECC, for the employment. The local employment, this is money being delivered straight into our rural communities and our economies. Honorable Speaker, MID is also leading one of the most significant road governance reforms in the last 2 decades, the establishment of the Road Transport Board. This reform is crucial in response to the increasing road accidents, traffic disorder, illegal parking, unroadworthy vehicles, and general decline in the road discipline within Honiara. Working closely with RSIPF and HCC, the Ministry has prepared patrol vehicles equipped with signages, emergency lights, and sirens. Thanks to the Australian government for funding this branding. RTB operational will begin in 2026 and will focus on traffic management, road safety enforcement, illegal parking control, vehicle testing and compliance, road signage rollout, public awareness, and this initiative will restore order, enhance safety, and introduce a modern traffic management standard in our urban centers. Also, Mr. Speaker, I would also like to take this opportunity to call on all bus operators and taxi operators to please form an association there's a spot for the chairman of the bus association and the taxi association on the board of the Road and Transport Board. I think it is important that you channel your concerns through this association so that they can be represented on the Road Transport Board and be part of the policies governing our roads and the management of our roads. Honourable Speaker, strong infrastructure must be matched with strong regulatory framework. Our roads cannot be upgraded while the influx of unroadworthy vehicles continues. Our public safety cannot improve if reckless driving is not addressed. And our urban traffic will not be manageable without updated and enforceable legislation. Therefore, the Ministry of Infrastructure and Development, in collaboration with the Ministry of Police, we are working on the Road and Transport Act amendment, which we intend to bring before Parliament in 2026. This amendment will grant MID and RTB clear enforcement powers, enable issuing of on-the-spot fines and infringement notices, clarify the role of police, HCC and MID in road enforcement, establish strict standards for vehicle roadworthiness, reduce importation of old, unsafe and environmentally harmful vehicles by setting manufacturing year limits. For example, like I've mentioned earlier today, we will look at what year na by mi kapumlem. So that is, if vehicles, for example, if we say 2010, then any vehicle that is older than 2010, MID will not issue license for it or will not allow it to be imported into the country. So these are some of the messages that with these new Act amendments, we will help address. And also introduce modern traffic penalties and offences, strengthens the accountability of public transport operators. Furthermore, MID is expanding our test and certification capabilities. A new vehicle test lane will be constructed next year, enabling more accurate, reliable, and automated testing of vehicle brakes, suspensions, headlights, emissions, and overall roadworthiness. We are also upgrading our materials testing laboratory, which plays a fundamental role in ensuring the quality of construction materials being used in national projects. With the National Building Code now gazetted, the Ministry will roll out awareness training, compliance check, and enforcement measures to strengthen the quality of construction across the country. This is critical for disaster resilience, given our vulnerability to earthquakes, cyclones, and floods. Honourable Speaker, another major national project entrusted to MID is the construction of the Prime Minister's official residence on top of Lawson Tama, a significant architectural and national symbol funded by the Australian government. This project will deliver a modern, secure, and functional residence befitting of the head of the government. Design tenders will be released first quarter of 2026, and the construction phase will begin immediately after the final design has been approved. The Ministry is committed to ensuring that the project is completed before July 2028 in time for our 50th anniversary. Honourable Speaker, the 2026 infrastructure budget is one of the most developed, focused budget in the history of Ministry of Infrastructure and Development, with approximately 20% recurrent and 80% development. The budget reflects the government's confidence in infrastructure as the catalyst for socio-economic transformation. This budget, therefore, is a transformational budget designed to enhance national mobility, improve market access for rural farmers, support private sector expansion, create jobs for citizens, increase resilience to natural disaster, and stimulate tourism. Honourable Speaker, I must highlight the government is deeply committed to ensuring that local contractors, local engineers, local tradesmen and women, and local businesses benefit from these investments. Local content is just not a slogan, it is a policy. Where possible, we will continue to ensure that local employment is in all our major projects. Local subcontracting opportunities, capacity building for local firms, skills transfer from international contractors, and fair participation for small and medium enterprises. Our people must not be bystanders in their own country, Mr. Speaker. They must be active participants and beneficiaries. Honourable Speaker, public facilities are also essential to a functioning city. In partnership with the Ministry of Home Affairs and Honiara City Council, MID in 2026 will construct 2 new public toilets in Honiara, funded by the Australian government. Sites have been identified, tenders should go out early next year, and then we should construct public toilets. These facilities will help address long-standing hygiene and sanitation issues in the city, especially as Honiara grows in population and commercial activities. I'm also proud to say, Mr. Speaker, that MID through the Government of National Unity and Transformation will continue to support the Special Development Center, a school for children with special needs. This is part of GNAT's mission of leaving no one behind. Infrastructure must be inclusive. We must ensure that vulnerable groups, particularly children with special needs, have access to safe, dignified, and appropriate facilities. Honourable Speaker, the achievement plans I have outlined are only possible for the support of our development partners. I wish to extend our appreciation to the government and people of Australia. Australia remains one of Solomon Islands' most steadfast infrastructure partners. Their fundings, technical expertise, rapid response through programs like NTF and have allowed MID to deliver essential projects and reforms even in challenging circumstances. On this note, I wish to acknowledge the outgoing Australian High Commissioner, His Excellency Rod Hilton, who will be finishing off this week, the Deputy High Commissioner Andrew Schofield, and the staff of Australian High Com in Honiara. Their professionalism, partnership, and personal commitment have greatly enhanced our infrastructure development journey. I would also like to acknowledge the government and the people of the People's Republic of China and their ongoing collaboration, especially through the Auki Township project. It demonstrates that their commitment to supporting infrastructure that directly improves the lives of our people. I would also like to thank all other development partners, and especially our multi-development banks as well. These institutes have continued to provide invaluable support through financial technical assistance and high standards of quality that have lifted our national system. Mr. Speaker, I would also like to take this opportunity to thank the Chairman of the Public Accounts Committee and the members of the Public Accounts Committee for their support on the budget. I would like to thank them for their diligence, clear guidance, and endorsement of the Ministry's budget submission. All the recommendations that have been put forward have been noted, and most of them, I'm happy to say, that are in line with the Ministry's plan, and our Ministry is currently actively working on those. Mr. Speaker, I would also like to thank the Government of National Unity and Transformation under the Right Honourable Prime Minister Jeremiah Manile. The vision, stability and support provided by the Prime Minister and Cabinet have been essential in enabling MID to pursue major national reforms and projects. And to the good people of Honiara and Solomon Islands, your patience, resilience and cooperation during construction works have not gone unnoticed. Development brings temporary inconvenience, but an end result will serve our people for decades. Honourable Speaker, as we approach the festive season, I extend warm greetings to the Members of Parliament, the Government, the Opposition, our churches, our private sector, our development partners, and all our citizens across our beloved Solomon Islands. I'm wishing you all a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And the people of Central Korai, thank you for your unwavering support, encouragement, and prayers. The budget, like all my work in this House, is dedicated to saving the future of our constituency and this country. Salat Liu, Tagyo Liu. Honourable Speaker, with these extended remarks and with confidence in the direction our nation is heading, I fully and wholeheartedly support the 2026 appropriation bill and commend it to this Honourable House. God bless our people, God bless our islands, and God bless Solomon Islands from shore to shore. With that, I support the motion and resume my seat.
Thank you, Honourable Minister of Finance and Treasury. Honourable Minister for Agriculture, you have the floor, sir.
Thank you for giving a chance for Honourable MP for East Makira and Minister for Agriculture and Livestock Development. I rise to contribute to the 2026 Appropriation Bill 2025 with the theme Accelerating Economic Transformation, Resourcing the Resourced to Drive Economic Growth and Sustainable Development. I join other colleague ministers and members of Parliament to thank the Honourable Prime Minister for allowing members of Parliament to contribute to the debate on the 2026 budget. I sincerely congratulate the powerful MP for Fataleka and the new Minister for Finance and Treasury for presenting the 2026 Appropriation Bill 2025. I also recognize and acknowledge the hardworking officers from the responsible core ministries for pulling together the budget bricks from all the competing bids from line ministries. This is no easy task, especially when all line ministries are asking for increases in their budgets. So I applaud those responsible officers, including my own officials from the Ministry of Agriculture and Livestock Development, who have taken a very strategic approach towards the fiscal envelope. I further thank the Chairman and the members of the Public Accounts Committee for scrutinizing the budget, and my ministry acknowledges recommendation 3 in that it supports my ministry's proposed budget increase of an additional 200,000 per constituency for coconut planting, totaling 10 million in additional required budget 2026. Mr. Speaker, sir, the theme of the budget certainly requires some strategic thinking, hence the approach taken by my ministry. The overall fiscal envelope next year for the Ministry of Agriculture and Livestock Development is reduced by 3,260,202. The same is also true for our development budget, where it is reduced by 10 million from 50 million this year to 40 million next year. However, with an increase of 6,739,798 in the recurrent estimate. Speaker, sir, these changes in our budget estimate are due to shifts made to the development estimate, whereby 10 million was supposedly moved to our recurrent. However, only 6,739,798 was shifted, while the remaining balance of 3 million plus was provided to other line ministries, which we will fully understand. The major reason for the shifts in our internal budgeting was because the ministry anticipates 100 million from donor-funded projects. The first one is from the World Bank-funded project, Solomon Islands Agriculture and Rural Transformation, SIAT for short, with 70 million. The IFAD-funded projects, the Agriculture Investment for Markets and Nutrition, or AMEN for short, 24 million. The DFAT-funded project, the Solomon Islands Climate Resilient Agriculture Development Program, with 50 million to be remitted to the ministry in the upcoming financial year. Speaker, sir, with these changes, the Ministry of Agriculture and Livestock have taken a strategic approach in its budgeting by reducing the number of development programs for next year from 6 to only 2, and from 60 project activities to 29. Therefore, for the 2026 financial year, the ministry will only focus on 2 development programs and 29 project activities. Speaker, sir, this strategic approach will help the ministry to achieve more, despite our limited capacity both in terms of human and financial resources, as we align and streamline our target areas to avoid spreading resources too thinly and achieving very little impact. on the ground. Rather, we aim to restrict our scope of activities and focus more on building our revenue base by focusing on the low-hanging fruits and at the same time build a diversified economic base for sustained growth. In this regard, Mr. Speaker, sir, the Ministry of Agriculture and Livestock Development is focusing its efforts on two major development programs, which are one, agriculture production and enhancement program estimated at 28,316,750,000. Two, the infrastructure development program estimated at 11,683,250. The two development programs are further translated into 29 project activities, focusing on one, building our export facilities, including construction of a new fumigation facility, a facility for taro export, one container that's 15 metric tons, cassava export, 5 containers at 75 metric tons, and full operationalization of the vapor heat treatment, which has been installed. Plant for guava, 15 metric tons, papaya, pineapple, 2 containers at 30 metric tons, mangoes and melon and fruits. 2, provision of subsidy and tools to farmers. We have an allocation of 14 million for that particular area. 3, regular transportation to high production sites in the rural areas. 4, increased production and export of cocoa. So we've estimated 9,000 metric tons. For coconut, it's 2,000 metric tons. And palm oil, a 5% increase, and cover 40 metric tons. 5th, mechanized commercial rice farming of 31 hectares on Godol Canal and Malaita provinces. 6th, improved production of root crops and vegetable. We explore revitalizing the Sup garden for urban centers and rollout of farm machineries. 7th, collaboration with farmer associations, registered entities, church groups, provincial authorities, and interested constituencies. 8, Cattle National Breeding Center and assistance to cattle farmers nationwide. We have learned from our past experiences. 9th, reviving the pork and poultry industry in closer collaboration with the private sector to address high cost of livestock feed, establishment of a second poultry hatchery for Solomon Islands, importation of improved genetic breeds and semen, and targeted revival of domestic production of honey, and 10th, ongoing fight against the coconut rhinoceros beetle and the varroa mite and other important agricultural and livestock pests and diseases. Speaker, sir, these are plans for the new financial year 2026. However, I am also pleased to share with you some good news on the exports of copra and cocoa for this year. This year, we reached a new historic high for cocoa exports, surpassing the old record achieved in 2011. Last year, the cocoa export was 5,100 metric tons, while January to October this year, we have already exported 6,500 metric tons. This is 1,400 metric tons more than the total export of last year, and we have yet to collect the data for this month of November and December. We are therefore likely to reach 7,000 metric tons of cocoa for all of this year, which will put us on a stronger base to build on for next year. For copra, the total export from January to October this year has reached 12,400 metric tons. This is 4,000 metric tons more than the total export of last year. Speaker, sir, these incredible achievements in the increase in both copra and cocoa exports are attributed to all our hardworking farmers in the rural areas and stakeholders in the private sector who are involved in the market value chain, and we must commend them. And I sincerely thank our rural farmers for growing our commodity exports despite the many challenges they face. Based on these achievements for this year, the Ministry is targeting 9,000 metric tons of cocoa and 22,000 metric tons of copra exports for next year, 2026. We are indeed very optimistic that with stronger support towards shipping, storage sheds, rehabilitation, replanting, pest and disease control, we will be able to achieve consistent increase in export volumes and revenue for our commodities and value-added products over the coming years. Speaker, sir, it is not on us that no one is an island and that agriculture has come this far, thanks to our many partners and stakeholders who stood with us to try and grow the agricultural sector. It is therefore only fitting that I must thank our esteemed development partners who have assisted the national aspirations of our agriculture sector through provision of the financial and technical resources. The World Bank, the International Food for Agriculture and Agriculture Development, IFAD, the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations, FAO, the European Union, the United Nations Development Programme, UNDP, the UNICEF, and the Government of Japan, the People's Republic of China, PRC, the INFAT New Zealand, and the DFAT Australia, and others. Sir, this support from our donor partners will fill in the budgetary gaps and complement the SIG funding so that our activities are fully inclusive, both in terms of participation and scope. Finally, sir, I thank the Minister of Finance and Treasury for the unwavering support of his ministry towards the Ministry of Agriculture and Livestock Development. MAL remains optimistic for its contributions to the growth of our economic well-being and will continue to work closely with MOFT and other sister ministries and the private sector to effectively implement the 2026 Appropriation Bill 2025. Mr. Speaker, sir, I want to end my contribution to the debate by reiterating the fact that issues we face and raised by many colleagues on the floor won't be resolved overnight, but a process that will take some time to fully implement and resolve. With that, I fully support the bill and I resume my seat. Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Minister. I give the floor to the Honourable Minister for Health and Medical Services.
I thank you for the opportunity, Mr. Speaker, for the MP for North Guadalcanal constituency and the Minister of Health and Medical Services to contribute to the debate of 2026 Appropriation Bill 2025. Mr. Speaker, I stand here on behalf of almost 3,000 health workforce of nurses, doctors, midwives, public health officers, health promoters, and educators, program staff, cooperative service, and administrative personnel who work tirelessly across our nation to safeguard the health of our people. Mr. Speaker, health is wealth, therefore health is our economy. Their dedication, Mr. Speaker, is the backbone of our health system, and it is their commitment of often in challenging and resource-constrained setting that makes progress possible. Today, I speak with deep respect for their service and with a strong sense of responsibility to ensure that this budget supports them in delivering care that our people deserve. Mr. Speaker, allow me to acknowledge the leadership of the Honourable Prime Minister, whose direction and commitment to the national budget, institutional strengthening and responsible governance shape the foundation upon which this budget is built. I acknowledge my good friend, the Minister of Finance and Treasury, the MP, the good MP for Fataleka, and his hard-working executive management team for presenting a budget that places the well-being of our people at the center of our national priorities. Let me also thank the Minister for Planning and Aid Coordination and his executive staff for their support in the development budget. Mr. Speaker, Their stewardship for these two ministers has ensured that this appropriation bill 2026 strengthen essential service while supporting long-term system reforms. Mr. Speaker, before I present my ministry's achievement and challenges over the financial year 2025, allow me to make a brief response to the PAC report of the 2026 appropriation bill 2025. But firstly, let me take this opportunity to convey my sincerest congratulations to the Public Accounts Committee, Chair under the dynamic and powerful leadership of the Honourable Member of Parliament for Central Honiara, for scrutinising the budget and asking very pertinent and fitting questions as they relate to the 2026 Appropriation Bill 2025. Mr. Speaker, the PAC report made one recommendation on the 2026 Appropriation Bill 2025, specifically for the Ministry of Health and Medical Services under the head 09. Please allow me to briefly respond to this recommendation while at the same providing further clarity and further highlighting our course of action. Mr. Speaker, on recommendation 19 of the PAC report, the committee recommends that immediate plans be put in place, including discussion with bilateral partners to increase investment in training of doctors to achieve the target 58 undergraduate doctors per year. These could also include immediate review of unemployed undergraduates and contained sufficient investment in postgraduate specialized training. Mr. Speaker, the WHO workforce requirement for universal health coverage and to achieve the SDG goal was revised towards in 2016 to an indicative minimum density of 44 doctors, nurses and midwives per 10,000 population. This is the universal target, Mr. Speaker. In reviewing the universal target against the Ministry of Health and Medical Services 2024 establishment, the ratio in Solomon Island is less than the half, and that is 22 per 10,000. Therefore, to enable us achieve that 44 per 10,000, Mr. Speaker, is not even feasible, as it would require an increase of 4,542 additional staff, and that is doctors, nurses and midwives, or an increase of 157% on the current 2024 Ministry of Health and Medical Services staff establishment. As per our draft, Mr. Speaker, our draft health workforce strategy to achieve a modest increase in the ratio to 30 per 10,000 population within the period of the NHSP 2022 to 31 will require an additional 1,269 doctors, nurses and midwives by 2031, an increase of 44% on the current 2024 staff establishment. This would comprise of 406 medical officers, 786 nurses and 76 midwives, or a minimum increase of 58 doctors, 112 nurses and 11 midwives per annum over each of the next 7 years, Mr. Speaker. This size at 30 per 10,000 of increase appears feasible for nurses and midwives, but definitely not for doctors. Thus, my ministry has been in discussion with the Ministry of Education to consider the training scholarship for pre-service medical training to be increased and scale up in 2026 and onward. Mr. Speaker, to have 58 medical training scholarships per year would have a huge budgetary implications, as we would be looking at about an estimate of 50 million or more for each cohort and our newly trained doctors. This would amount to an estimate of 350 million for 7 cohorts for the next 7 years to be able to reach our target of 406 trained medical doctors, and consequently modest increase in the ratio of 30 per 10,000 population of doctors, nurses and midwives by 2030. Noting that this is a huge investment, Mr. Speaker, with our very constrained and very tight domestic financial resources, my ministry has begun initial discussion with potential bilateral partners for consideration on this investment toward the development of health workforce in this beloved country of ours. Mr. Speaker, I now wish to outline some of the significant achievements made by the ministry over the past years. In our health infrastructure space, the first of this is the successful opening of the Kukum Clinic, an essential facility that has long served communities in East Honiara. As this House will recall, the facility was previously closed due to termite and safety concerns. And first time we talked here, this chamber in 2024, this was the first question that is raised to me as the Minister of Health. Through coordinated efforts involving ministry staff, development partners, including the Solomon Islands, Australia Health Partnership, and the World Bank, the Kukum Clinic has been fully renovated and reopened, restoring access to essential outpatient care, maternal and child health services, and routine primary care. The reopening also relieves pressure on the National Referral Hospital by reducing ambulatory cases that do not require tertiary level care. The work is not yet done, Mr. Speaker, for me fully relieve him now, NRH. It stands as a tangible demonstration of the Government of National Unity's commitment to strengthening primary health care and ensuring that health services are accessible to where people live. Another major area of achievement related to access to medicine and supplies, Mr. Speaker, the Ministry has taken significant steps to address long-standing bottlenecks that have contributed to delay, stockout, and efficiency in the supply chain. Key reforms, Mr. Speaker, have included upgrading cold chain and air conditioning system at the National Medical Store, strengthening scrutiny and arrangement, improving inventory processes, and enhancing logistic coordination. Through support from the Government of Australia, World Bank, and the Global Fund, the Ministry has been able to address critical weakness within the system and strengthening the capacity of the National Medical Store. The work is not done yet, Mr. Speaker, but we will continue to improve on this, and especially improving our upstream and downstream of our supply chain. Work has also progressed, Mr. Speaker, on the development of a comprehensive national supply chain policy and strategy. This strategy, which will be finalized shortly, provides a long-term roadmap of improving forecasting, procurement, warehouse distribution, quality assurance, and the data visibility across the supply chain. It represents a major milestone in the modernization and governance of the ministry system and will be rolled out progressively beginning in 2026. Mr. Speaker, I must applaud the people behind of our hard work within achieving this, Mr. Speaker. When I took up the portfolio, the critical item availability lies at 59%. And as of this year's for 2025 budget, we managed to increase it to 85% availability of critical items, and it oscillates between 85 to 95. But we will have to improve our supply system in the provincial or second-level medical store so that we are able to maintain our higher percentage in the last mile of our healthcare facilities. Mr. Speaker, a third major achievement relates to specialist services and the expansion of national clinical capacity. The official opening of the National Referral Hospital Comprehensive Medical Center earlier this year is a transformational milestone for our health system. This state-of-the-art facility, constructed through the support of the People's Republic of China, and let me again acknowledge this support to the people of the Republic of China, Tagyo Tumas, for this health facility, is now operational and offering specialist services in the cardiology, nephrology, urology, and advancing diagnostic imaging. These services, which were previously unavailable in our country, Mr. Speaker, are now accessible to our people, reducing resilience on overseas referral and creating new opportunities for skill development among our clinicians. And I'm very glad and acknowledge our specialists who work alongside with other specialists in performing one of the first-time procedure, which is the laser treatment for our kidney stone patients, and also for the stent that they have continued to do in the Comprehensive Medical Center. Mr. Speaker, in November, the Comprehensive Medical Center hosted a major neurological mission supported by the Solomon Islands Australia Health Partnership. More than 20 specialists from Nepean Blue Mountain Hospital and Mercury University Hospital spent a week conducting specialist brain and spinal surgery, outpatient clinics, and intensive hands-on training with local and anesthetic staff. We are very happy to say, Mr. Speaker, for these medical procedures, complex one, can be done in our country that is not available in the past. And we must say that I'm very thankful to the specialist of neurosurgeon that you managed to operate one of the child's brain tumor where hemi pikinin blowavalaman that hem against the itulo petition, Mr. Speaker, and I thank them for doing that good job. 14 major neurological procedures were completed, Mr. Speaker, over the course of the mission at a total cost lower than the cost of sending even a single patient overseas for treatment. This achievement illustrates the immense value of strengthening national capacity and highlights the power of partnership. It also demonstrates what can be achieved when modern infrastructure is combined with skilled national clinicians and strong international collaboration. And Mr. Speaker, I'm very passionate to improve our health infrastructure across the country, and so that these kind of procedures can be done. Mr. Speaker, the Ministry has also made significant progress on major infrastructure projects, most notably the Kilufi Hospital expansion, following the signing of the construction contracted earlier this year. The project gone beyond its 60% major work. The Ministry continues to work closely with Malaita Provincial Government, land holding groups, and the contractor to ensure smooth implementation. And let me thank the people of Malaita and the Provincial Executive for their continuous support. Not only that, but also me like for taking this opportunity for thanking the Minister of Foreign Affairs for the good bilateral that we continue to work together to implement this project. The expansion of Kilufi Hospital, Mr. Speaker, is a major investment in the provincial service delivery and an important step in strengthening secondary level care outside Honiara. The Ministry will continue to support the project to ensure its completion in the second quarter of 2026. And let me thank the people of Japan and your great government for this huge investment in health. Mr. Speaker, this past year has also has also seen important progress in health policy and governance. Cabinet has endorsed the health service policy, which will provide the foundation for drafting a modern health service bill to replace the outdated legislative framework. And I wish to thank my cabinet ministers for supporting this through the cabinet. It's 37 years, Mr. Speaker, that this health service bill, it's never been amended, and I continue to thank my colleague ministers for your support during our cabinet discussion, and I'm looking forward for also other colleagues to support me in this honourable House when this bill will take into Parliament, and I am optimistic to bring this bill beginning early next year, that it will be submitted to Parliament in 2026. This is one of the most significant institutional reforms of the past decade and will strengthen governance, service standards, public health powers, regulatory functions, and accountability mechanisms. Mr. Speaker, alongside legislative reform, the Ministry will advance key workforce initiative guided by a newly developed and ready to publish National Health Workforce Strategy. Mr. Speaker, my understanding that there are people that will want to move out, other health workers. Well, I respect them. I respect them for the opportunity that they have. And there are two benefits, Mr. Speaker, if you may look good, Lohem. One is for them to learn new working environment. A second one is to learn new skills that other countries could provide to them, and also good working ethics too. And one of the benefits I'm looking into it when our health workers move out is the remittance and the contribution to the economy. Though we have these challenges, Mr. Speaker, inside this health workforce strategy, we will address some of the issues that my health workers continue to experience and raise. This includes strengthening health workforce, Mr. Speaker, planning, improved development practices, enhanced dialogue with training institutions, and better coordination with professional council. The Ministry has also begun work on a workforce housing and development plan to address long-standing accommodation shortage and strengthen retention in rural and remote areas, as I alluded earlier on, Mr. Speaker. These initiatives are essential to ensuring that health workforce are supported, valued, and appropriately deployed across the health system. Mr. Speaker, while we acknowledge this achievement, we must also confront the challenges that continue to shape our health outcomes. One of which, Mr. Speaker, is the non-communicable disease, remain the leading cause of premature death in our country. The burden of diabetes, hypertension, cardiovascular diseases, and chronic kidney disease continues to grow, creating significant personal, social, and economic impacts, not only to the Ministry of Health and Medical Services, but also to the families, Mr. Speaker. These conditions are driven by preventable risk factors, and the Ministry will continue to strengthen prevention, early detection, management, and community engagement to reduce the NCD impact. A whole government approach is the key to addressing this situation, Mr. Speaker, and let me take this opportunity to thank the SOLPEN and NCD team for their hard work, led by Dr. Jones Habu. Malaria remains a significant public health concern, Mr. Speaker, while global and regional trend points to a progress in elimination in some parts of the Pacific. Solomon Islands continue to experience a resurgence in several provinces including Malaita, Central Islands, Guadalcanal Province. Strengthen vector control, enhance civilians, better case management, and stronger community engagement are all essential to revising this trend like NCD, and the Ministry is embarking on malaria elimination strategy with a whole government approach mode, Mr. Speaker. The Ministry is also concerned by emerging pattern of HIV cases, particularly among young people and high-risk population. And yesterday, me go now for Lonesome, this for World AIDS Day, and me also highlighting more the datas that you may currently gathering. But Mr. Speaker, let me update this Honourable House that previously, before 2025, we have been detecting on average 1 to 2 cases per annum. Last year we saw a surge in HIV cases and recorded 8 new cases. This year, Mr. Speaker, we have recorded 34 new cases, bringing the cumulative total to 79. Of these 34 new cases, 25 are males and 9 are females. Total of positive clients now are 48 cases. Mr. Speaker, 3 of whom are not on treatment. And yesterday, me encouraged him 3 fellow that other survey out positive here for come forward for receiving treatment so that you have a long life. Me again like to urge those people that are not treatment, but you know your HIV status, please come along, come to the health facility so that you can receive him treatment to reduce him now viral load. If you not take him treatment, the HIV virus load will continue to increase, and I am sure that you will have the stage that they call them AIDS. So please do come when you know your HIV status in the health facilities so that you receive treatment. Mr. Speaker, 27 have succumbed to the advanced HIV disease and its complication, and 4 or that are where foreigners or that now return low countries where they come from. Although the national prevalence remains low, the recent increase underscores the need for an early action, Mr. Speaker. In 2026, the Ministry will scale up surveillance, expand testing, strengthening prevention, and ensure rapid access to treatment in order to intercept transmission early and protect the health of our community and the future of our country. Mr. Speaker, the Ministry must also maintain readiness to respond to health emergencies, including outbreaks, climate-related shocks, and natural disasters, while ensuring the continuity of essential services. We are dependent on the readiness of our provincial health services, Mr. Speaker, but these need investment. As the Public Accounts Committee has repeatedly highlighted, many facilities lack reliable water, power, staffing, equipment, and supplies. Addressing these service readiness gaps is essential to improving health outcomes and fulfilling the constitutional responsibility to provide essential health services to all our citizens. Mr. Speaker, allow me to outline the Ministry's budget for 2026. The total appropriation for the Ministry of Health and Medical Services is 852 million. This is a major investment in the health sector, Mr. Speaker, reflecting the government of national unity and transformation recognition that health is central to human development, national resilience, and long-term prosperity. On this, Mr. Speaker, of this total, 70 is allocated for the development budget, which will support major infrastructure projects, essential equipment procurement, and priority capital investment across the country. And let me outline, Mr. Speaker, of those health infrastructure in 2026. The Tamba Rural Health Center in Isabel Province will start their development with $3 million. Central Kwarai Rural Health Center in Malaita Province will allocate $3 million. Malaita Outer Island in Moi, Mr. Speaker, Waterby allocated for $3 million. And Tasimboko Rural Health Clinic, the Northeast, by also take him now $3 million. These budgets are milestone budget, Mr. Speaker, and behind me continue no 2027 budget. South New Georgia as well, Mr. Speaker, and Penuna Clinic, Lo Ranoga and Simbo, Lo Western Province. Parego Area Health Center renovation too, Mr. Speaker, coming for the budget, Lo Hemlo East Makira. and Vuturua clinic renovation and upgrade lo Central Island Province, Mr. Speaker, where hemi 1.5 million. Abu Rural Health Clinic renovation lo Auki, especially lo Auki Langalanga constituency, Mr. Speaker, is allocated for $1 million for that renovation. Mataniko Clinic renovation and upgrades also allocating $1 million lohem, and Bokona Clinic renovation upgrade, and Pangoe lo East Choizo, Mr. Speaker, $1 million, and Sege Area Health Center, the Western Province, and Central Guadalcanal Rural Health Clinic, a new one, $3 million. So these new facilities are milestone budget, Mr. Speaker. We must read him now because we are for the taxpayers. When I sell in go lo Ministry of Health and Medical Services, lo second level health facilities, Mr. Speaker. Provincial Hospital blame lo lata a milestone budgeted 2 year. So we will do him lo next year and the following 2026 and 2027, where me more than $10 million. Helena Goldie upgrade, especially for X-ray, Mr. Speaker, and $1.7 million. Taro renovation, Mivala also allocating $2 for him this year, $10 million for upgrade. But there will be a new hospital on mainland, Mr. Speaker. Malu second level medical store too, Mr. Speaker, we will budget loan $1 million. And Guadalcanal Provincial Hospital, this is a long-standing issue, Mr. Speaker. This is a preliminary work to be done for Guadalcanal Hospital next year, which is me allocating $500,000. And once the design and the groundwork, geotech, and all this is completed, then we will start for budget for the Guadalcanal Hospital, Mr. Speaker. Lo Tesari, Mr. Speaker, this one embraced lo question and answers. There's an improvement for maternal ward and expansion project. Lo NRH, $1.5 million now, and one which is, I am looking forward for that state-of-art operating theater. We will budget for him, for finishing him $6 million. Also, Mr. Speaker, I will highlight him to your National Public Health Lab. We will budget for him for $1.7 million. And this is to address some of the gaps in SPS that we may continue for facing, so that we can do some other tests like nutritional value for export. And this is how the Ministry of Health supports exports and also our economy, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the Ministry will also receive $53 million in budget support from the development partners, including Australia, WHO, UNICEF, UNFPA, the World Bank, and the Global Fund. These contributions remain essential to sustaining core programs and supporting the Ministry's reform agenda. The recurrent budget, Mr. Speaker, stands at $728,570,879, supporting the daily functioning of the health system, workforce cost, essential medicine, provincial operations, maintenance, outreach, and emergency services. This budget, Mr. Speaker, provides the Ministry with a long platform to advance long-standing reforms, complete major projects, strengthening provincial services, and expand specialist capacity. I now turn to the strategic priority that will guide the Ministry's work in 2026. These priorities are aligned with the GNAT policy, the National Health Strategic Plan 2022 to 2031, and the expectation of this Honourable House, Mr. Speaker. We must thank him for the opposition and previous leader of the Independent for continue for supporting increase the ministerial budget, and of course PSC, and of course my cabinet minister's colleague that would always support him now increase the budget below health. And I salute you all. This budget debate below health and long well better, Mr. Speaker, because it's essential for the life of our people. And without health, none of us could be sitting here, and of course none will be contributing to the economy. So, Mr. Speaker, bear with me for the long debate of the ministry's contribution. The first priority, Mr. Speaker, is the liaison with the Attorney General Chamber, who will draft a new health service bill and progress to Parliament in 2026. This legislation will modernise the regulatory framework for health, strengthening governance and accountability, and improve oversight of health service across the public and private sector. The second priority, Mr. Speaker, is to develop and commence implementation of the National Supply Chain Strategy. This strategy will provide a long-term blueprint for improving governance, forecasting, procurement, distribution, quality assurance, and data visibility across the supply chain. It represents a major structural reform aimed at restoring confidence, ensuring accountability, and improving access to the essential medicines. The third priority, Mr. Speaker, is to fully operationalise the National Referral Hospital Comprehensive Medical Centre. These will involve expanding specialist services, strengthening clinical governance, increasing staffing, and establish a cleaner referral pathway to the centre. The CMC has already begun transforming specialist care in Solomon Islands, and 2026 will see further expansion of its services. While we invest in our Uben facility, we cannot neglect the reality that 74% of our population live outside of Honiara. Mr. Speaker, our fourth priority is to launch and open the remaining health facilities that meet WIMLO 2025 budget. Wagina Area Health Centre, Manuupo Area Health Centre, Taunga Area Health Centre, Leona Rural Health Clinic, and Guanatai Rural Health Clinic, and as well as Agorabao Rural Health Clinic. Last month, Mr. Speaker, I had the privilege to accompany our Honourable Prime Minister to open and hand over Deva Rural Health Clinic and Konide Area Health Clinic in Isabel. And as I can see our people in the rural areas, Mr. Speaker, the reality and the stories that I heard of them facing the adversity of accessing health infrastructure. So my good colleagues, let's continue to support the increase of the DB for health facilities so that we continue to decentralize health services to the people that we serve best. Mr. Speaker, these new facilities extend essential primary health services into the remote, hard-to-reach communities and reduce the burden of long and costly travel for care. Their commission in strengthening equitable access aligns with the national strategic plan's focus on bringing health service close to families and ensure that people in this area can obtain timely and reliable care without financial hardship. The fifth priority, Mr. Speaker, is to resource the new division of neglected tropical disease using the dedicated 2026 budget allocation. This division will coordinate national programs for malaria, lymphatic malariasis, leprosy, yaws, and other major diseases. It will strengthen civilians, expand outreach, and improve program coordination. The sixth priority, Mr. Speaker, is to advance the Kilufi Hospital expansion towards its planned completion date in June or July 2026. This project is essential to strengthening secondary level care in Malata and to improve service access for communities across the province. The seventh priority, Mr. Speaker, is to open the new Naha Uben Health and Birthing Centre in 2026. This facility, Mr. Speaker, that has been funded by the Government of Australia will strengthen maternal and child health services, increase access to antenatal care, and improve safe birthing services in East Honiara. And not only in East Honiara, Mr. Speaker, but for us all, the people of Solomon Islands, where population growth continues to rise. And me like for acknowledging Minister Blo, MID, for his upward planning for Maintenimnau Road Golonaha Birthing Center for our people and the women of this country. Better road enhance the access of healthcare service delivery. Mr. Speaker, the 8th priority is to strengthen provincial service delivery. To achieve this, the Ministry will launch a provincial service delivery strengthening initiative based on 2 core elements: the development of provincial primary healthcare performance improvement mechanism and the development of provincial performance scorecards to measure readiness, quality and service coverage. These will include progressing the review of role delineation policy. These tools will guide improvements across all provinces and drive greater accountability for service delivery. The 9th priority, Mr. Speaker, is to intensify efforts to combat the leading disease burdens of non-communicable diseases, malaria and HIV. The Ministry will develop a strengthen NCD action package, expand malaria vector control and case management, and increase HIV surveillance and prevention efforts. The 10th priority, Mr. Speaker, is to strengthen women's leadership across the health system. Although women make up the majority of the health workforce within the Ministry, they remain underrepresented in senior, clinical, managerial and decision-making roles. In 2026, the Ministry will take deliberate steps to expand leadership pathway, ensure transparent recruitment practices, and increase professional development and mentorship opportunities for the women within the Ministry. The 11th priority, Mr. Speaker, is to upgrade MIOB and financial reporting system across all provinces and the narrative reporting for the finance and execution. These will improve accountability, strengthening compliance with financial management standards, and support provincial health offices to make better use of the fund. Mr. Speaker, let me also inform this Honourable House that within the Ministry, we will get an internal audit where we look after how we use our finances. The 12th priority is to implement a digital health foundation package to strengthen civilians' data quality, connectivity, DHIS2 reporting and facility information system across both national, provincial and community levels. The 13th priority, Mr. Speaker, is to bring closer the payment of COVID allowance to our health workforce. In 2025, Mr. Speaker, the Ministry's budget bid for COVID allowances was 6 million, but fell short of 3 million to fund the outstanding COVID allowances. However, further requirement during the 2025 period was 3.2 million to cater for the outstanding bill and the settlement of the GBR rental used as a quarantine station during the COVID pandemic between 2020 to 2022. Mr. Speaker, this payment of COVID allowance should be done during the COVID period. Unfortunately, I need to carry this issue forward to us, and I do sincerely ask all this Honourable House to support me to meet the COVID allowances of my health workers. Mr. Speaker, of the COVID allowances of 3 million, 1.9 million plus was the amount paid through Health Emergency Response Fund and used to settle COVID allowances of all direct wards employees, while 1+ million was COVID-19 allowance paid through the payroll section at the Ministry of Finance and Treasury. Have now stored lot of COVID-19. So there are some that took the COVID allowance or received the COVID allowance, Mr. Speaker. There are others yet in waiting, and I ask my health workers to sincerely patient as we deal with these COVID allowances of yours. The 14th priority, Mr. Speaker, guided by the publications of new National Health Workforce Strategy addressing workforce housing, deployment, strengthening, retention, ensure equitable access to essential health workers across our provinces. The ministries would also embark on its readiness to resource the upcoming new facilities. We acknowledge the Ministry of Public Service for the provision of 201 new positions. And Minister, through the Speaker, I thank you for these provisions that have been budgeted for in 2026 for 3 new facilities: Kilifi Hospital expansion, Naha Urban Birthing Center, and Comprehensive Medical Center, with the following breakdown, Mr. Speaker: 140 new positions for the Comprehensive Medical Center, Lo NRH, 45 new positions, Bahem Lo Naha Birthing Urban Center, and 16 new positions for Kilifi Hospital. Last but not the least, Mr. Speaker, our final priority, number 15, is to strengthen clinical governance. This is a core priority for the ministry. In the year ahead, the ministry will develop a Solomon Islands model clinical governance framework for potential application in all hospital, public, NGO, and private operated health facilities. This will be a foundational step to improve the quality of care, improving patients' experience, and improve care outcome. Mr. Speaker, because let me finish, but let me put more emphasis on the clinical governance. This one now, we follow the health workers by delivering health service, the clinical governance. Yeah, how we treat you in our health facilities. We need to have this model in order for you to improve, to receive the optimum care that you need. I understand there are people that also complaining on how we practice, how health workers deliver healthcare services and posting on Facebook. But with this new model of clinical governance, Mr. Speaker, we will improve. We will improve on how we deliver our clinical work to the people that needs the most of our service. Mr. Speaker, this priority reflects the GNAT's policy emphasis on stronger institutions, improved service delivery, national resilience, accountability, and human capital. They also respond directly to the findings of the Public Accounts Committee and the expectation of the National Health Strategic Plan 2022-31. Together, they formed a coherent agenda for building a stronger and more resilient health system. Mr. Speaker, in conclusion, I wish to conclude by acknowledging the dedication of the health workforce across our nation. Their work is the foundation of our health system. I also acknowledge the continued support of our development partners: Australia, Tagio Tumas; the People's Republic of China, Tagio Tumas; WHO, Tagio Tumas; UNICEF, UNFPA, Tagio Tumas, and the World Bank, Tagio Tumas Loyufala, and the Global Fund for their vital contribution in assisting us to receive the health care that we continue to receive today. Your support is deeply appreciated, and we will continue to be a critical partner to strengthen the health of our beloved nation, Solomon Islands. As we look to the year ahead, I am reminded of the reassuring words of Jeremiah, chapter 33, verse 6. I will bring health and healing to them. I will heal my people and will let them enjoy abundant peace and security. Let me wish our people across Solomon Islands, about 700 to 800 people that continue to receive the health services, a Merry Christmas and prosperous New Year 2026. And to my health workforce, from the cleaners to the surgeons, I want to say thank you and thank you to us for your dedication. And I wish you God's blessing towards the festive season, Christmas time. Believe me, I know that you will continue to work while others are sleeping and enjoying the festive season, as the health workforce will continue to save our country. I wish you all a blessed and a Merry Christmas. I commend, Mr. Speaker, the 2026 budget to this honourable House, and I support the motion. May God bless the Ministry of Health and people of Solomon Islands from soul to soul. I thank you. I thank you for listening. I resume my seat, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Honourable Minister for Health and Medical Services. Are there any other members who wish to contribute to the motion? Thank you. We have one at time, so I'll give it to the Minister for Public Service first. You have the floor, Northwest Goroka. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir, for allowing me as Minister for Public Service and MP for Northwest Goroka constituency for also contribute to this debate on the bill, the budget that I presented by the Minister of Finance. Mr. Speaker, sir, I rise to contribute to the debate on the 2026 budget presented by the Honourable Minister of Finance. This budget under the theme Accelerating Economic Transformation, Resourcing the Resourced to Drive Economic Growth and Sustainable Development. This theme serves as a compass directing efforts towards sustainable development, economic resilience, and institutional accountability. Let me begin by commending the Honourable Minister of Finance and his hardworking team of the Ministry of Finance, also the Ministry of Development Planning and Aid Coordination and the Ministry of Public Service and all other government ministries in working together to make sure that the 2026 budget becomes a reality. It is your dedication and effort in preparing and presenting this budget to Parliament. Your tireless commitment ensures that this financial blueprint can reflect your priorities and aspirations the nation blaming. We owe them our gratitude for their crucial role in setting us on the path towards accountability and transformative progress. Mr. Speaker, as a Minister of Public Service, I recognize the profound importance of this theme. The allocation within this budget reaffirms our collective resolve to modernize our public service and ensure it becomes a key enabler of national progress. The roles of public service in economic transformation, Mr. Speaker, said, the public service lies at the heart of delivering this vision. It is the vehicle through which government policies are implemented and national goals are realized. For the public service to meet the demands of this ambitious theme, it must evolve, adopt, and align with the priorities set out in this budget. The Ministry of Public Service is committed to ensuring that our institutions and workforce are equipped to be key drivers of resilience and sustainability. This budget provides a necessary foundation to modernize our systems, enhance our workforce, and ensure efficient service delivery to our citizens. The Public Service Act 2025, Mr. Speaker, sir, on 24th of October 2025, this Honourable House passed the Public Service Act 2025. This landmark legislation established the governance, the accountability, leadership, management, recruitment, training, and performance management framework necessary to reform, strengthen, and modernize the public service. The 2026 budget priority focus for the Ministry of Public Service is to socialize the Public Service Act. The regulations, the orders, and policy driven by the Ministry. And Mr. Speaker, socialization of the Act is both critical and necessary. It is the responsibility of the Ministry to ensure that all public servants, whether in Honiara or across the provinces, are fully informed of the obligation under the Act, understand the new legal provisions, and consistently apply them in their daily functions. For the public service to deliver effectively, public officers must have a clear understanding of the human resource responsibilities, that underpins an accountable and professional public service. This fund is needed for socialization of the act. The support of the Ministry to Public Service Commission and other commissions, Mr. Speaker, I would like to highlight the need to provide budget support for the various commissions responsible for the appointment and discipline of public officers. The Commission plays a very important constitutional function in the public service structure. The Public Service Commission, Judicial Legal Service Commission, and the Police and Correctional Service Commission. The commissions are allocated with budget baseline of $750,000 for 2026. Mr. Speaker, as you know, the Minister of Public Service provides sectoral support to the Commission. Thus, the Ministry is also responsible for supporting Commission budget preparation and ensure sufficient funds are allocated to support the Commission work and activities. Mr. Speaker, sir, human resource development and training of public servants is another important aspect of the public service. Public servants must be trained in their respective fields of expert and also equipped with professional skills and knowledge necessary to carry out their duties professionally. In 2025, there were 76 in-service scholarships awarded to public servants to do their studies overseas and locally for academic qualifications. Institute of Public Administration, Mr. Speaker, sir, further in terms of training, the Institute of Public Administration and Management continue to provide and facilitate role-based training and professional development for public servants. In 2025, IPAM conducted 65 professional training specific to the roles, duties, and functions of the public servants. This training resulted in 1,649 officers graduated with specific knowledge and skills. The Ministry of Public Service budget priorities for 2026 include recognition of the importance of IPAM role-based trainings and establishment of an IPAM complex to provide a conducive environment for learning and training of public servants. The Ministry is also reviewing the curriculum and content and ensure it is up to date and meets the workplace needs of today. The Ministry through IPAM also engage in meaningful collaborations with recognized training institution partners both internally and externally. Mr. Speaker, a significant portion of the Ministry's development budget is allocated for the construction of the IPAM complex and support the IPAM core functions. Workforce planning, Mr. Speaker, the Ministry is also involved in assisting ministries to review their organizational functions and identify their workforce need as new officers enter and retiring officers exit the public service. In 2025, there were 1,843 submissions made for appointment confirmation and promotions of officers to various positions in the public service. Planning, managing, and coordinating the performance of workforce is critical. Part of the budget priority of the Ministry in 2026 is to improve the performance management policy and monitor the performance of public servants. The Ministry envisions to have a highly productive and accountable public officers serving in the public service. Mr. Speaker, in terms of reform in the Ministry of Public Service, there are important reforms in progress in the Ministry of Public Service. This reform starts with the Public Service Act, the regulations, the orders and policies. With the Act passed by this Honourable House in October 2025, socialization and awareness of the legislative changes to the Public Service Act is very critical. The ministry in 2026 proposed budget was an effort to ensure that there is sufficient budget resources allocated to socialize the Act, regulations, orders, and policies implemented by the ministry in 2026. The Ministry of Public Service was given a total budget of $50.660 million to implement its programs and activities for the financial year of 2026. This includes $35.660 million for recruitment budget and $15 million for the development budget, which represent 70% and 30% recurrent and development budget respectively. The Ministry of Public Service recurrent budget, Mr. Speaker, on the recurrent budget, 60% was for the payroll charges and 40% was for other charges to meet administration and operational costs. Of the total budget of $35.658 million, this has been allocated to 5 divisions in the ministry as follows. Central Headquarters was allocated $11.64 million. Workforce Management and Planning was allocated $15.208 million. Public Service Commission was allocated $2.31 million. The Institute of Public Administration and Management was allocated $3.41 million, and Governance and Performance Management was allocated $3.081 million. In terms of development budget, on the development budget, Mr. Speaker, sir, of the total $15 million, $5 million was for the construction of the new IPAM office building, and $10 million was for the Solomon Islands Public Employees Union Complex building. Mr. Speaker, before I conclude, I also wish to take this opportunity as the Minister of Public Service and on behalf of my family, as the Christmas is near and we already inside the festive season, me like for taking this opportunity for me wish him, His Excellency the Governor General and his family and his staff, your good self and your family and your staff of the National Parliament, the Honorable Prime Minister, his family and his staff of the Office of the Prime Minister and Cabinet. They also like to wish him, pass him greeting, go along all Cabinet Ministers, or the families, Mleifala, and your staff, or the various ministries where you look after them. The leader of the opposition, his family and staff, belong the Office Blam. The leader of the independent group, his family and his staff, the members of Parliament, your families and your good constituents, the constitutional post holders, staff and families, all PSs, the various ministries, and all the public servants and their families, our diplomatic friends and their families and their staff, the good people of Northwest Kodakana constituency, or the House of Chiefs and the Paramount Chief of Sahalu and Tadai House of Chiefs, or tribal leaders, or the church leaders, youth and families. I wish to share my greeting with you for everyone. I wish you all a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year 2027. May wish you for a happy holidays and wishing you for a season full of joy and peace. Mr. Speaker, with those few statements, I would like once again to thank the government for putting together this 2026 Appropriation Bill 2026. Thank you to the general leadership, Mr. Honorable Prime Minister, and our cabinet ministers, and our teams will follow for the proposed allocation of the Ministry of Public Service in 2026. With this, I fully support this motion. Thank you, and I receive my seat. Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Minister. Let me give the floor now to Honourable Minister for Public Service, Minister for Justice and Legal Affairs and MP for North Bella Vella. You have the floor, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me this opportunity to contribute briefly to this budget debate. At the outset, the remarks made by honourable speakers on the both sides of the House, whether in support or in critique of this budget, I will be very brief in support of this budget. Mr. Speaker, sir, access to justice is not just a service. It is the foundation of fair and prosperous society. Mr. Speaker, sir, as the responsible Minister for the Administration of Justice and Legal Affairs, I would like to convey and assure this House that in 2026, our deliverables remain to serve the mission of the Ministry, which is to provide a vibrant and robust service for our agencies for effective, efficient, and sustainable justice service to the Solomon people. In pursuit of this mission, my ministry is pleased that the Solomon Islands government continues to be the major source of funding for our justice system and legal institutions, including the National Judiciary and the Magistracy. While donor support remains minimal, Australia remains our key partner through the Australian Solomon Islands Partnership for Justice, ASIPJ, with UNICEF providing targeted assistance on the law reform sector. This partnership sets a powerful example of partnership and commitment to progressing access to justice for our people. Mr. Speaker, sir, the responsibility of sustaining justice ultimately rests with us, the government. A responsibility that GNAT government has remained true through increasing support of my ministry's development budget in 2026. For this support, I thank GNAT government most sincerely. Along this support, our policy priority for 2026 will be the legal reforms. This year, 2025, we achieved a historic milestone. Cabinet has endorsed comprehensive reforms of all our 5 legal agencies. These reforms are the first major overhauls since independence in 1978. This is not just an administrative exercise. It is a bold step to future-proof our institution to ensure that they save our people for generations to come. Mr. Speaker, why do these reforms matter? The reason is simply that strong legal institutions are the backbone of economic growth and social harmony. They enforce and secure people's rights as enshrined in our Constitution and create an environment where business thrive and human rights are protected. A robust judiciary deters crime, builds trust in governance, and safeguards vulnerable communities. Simply put, justice drives development. And our economic and productive sectors and other social sectors that we always aspire will not thrive without a conducive environment in which justice plays this role. And I must thank GNAT to seeing fit to increase our budget. And I must thank them, hardworking Minister of Finance, that you will notice. Ministry of Justice, I would say, for the last couple of years, has its budget at a minimum, not an increase since I took office. And this year would be the first ever an increase in our DB up to 18 million. It usually sits at 3 million each year. And I must thank GNAT for seeing it fit to increase our budget so that we can progress with our justice programs for next year, 2026. Our priority plans for 2026. We will accelerate the transformation with landmark initiatives. First, the Attorney General's Bill, establishing the Office of the Attorney General under new legislation.
the Law Reform Commission, modernizing the Law Reform Commission Act, the Public Solicitor Bill, creating a statutory office of the Public Solicitor, the Director of Public Prosecution Bill, establishing the Office of the Director of Public Prosecution, and the Registrar General's mandate review is the strengthening the land title registration and introducing copyright regulations. I will put an example. That's why these reforms are necessary. A simple example. We have legal issues to battle crime, especially the illicit drugs in the country. However, our penal code does not cater for that. That's why it is necessary to do these reforms. In what ways do you punish those in possession of that? It was never spelled out, because we never experienced those incidents or those criminal activities in the past. That's why it's necessary now that we have to do the reform to combat these unwanted activities that are creeping into our society. We will also advance critical social reforms in 2026, and that is one of the rising issues, is shifting the marriage age from 15 to 18 years. That is one of the reforms that we will take on board, and reviving consultation on the Youth Justice Bill. The Youth Bill is prepared by Ministry of Youth and Children Affairs and was rolled out several years ago. And my ministry was mandated to look at reviewing what went wrong and what went right, and to reform or review this bill. Mr. Speaker said the core mandates are functions of law in the delivery of legal services to our people, including the Registrar General's office. And also, if I may make a few reference to my ministry's contribution in 2026 to driving innovation through intellectual property. This is one area that has been left unattended for past years. Since independence, I would say, we still have the IP regulations law UK yet now, and we're working on that. As Solomon Islands prepare for graduation from LDC status in December 2027, intellectual property will be a key driver for economic transformation. Through the WIPO LDC package, we will implement projects that strengthen IP systems, support creative industries, and enhance competitiveness. Mr. Speaker said, IP rights fuel innovation, attract investment, and empower our artists and entrepreneurs. For our musicians and creators, IP protection means turning talent into income and building a thriving and creative economy. So once that IP HEMI rolled out, it is the copyrights that we will put an enforcement of that one. And it is a source of income for our talented musicians, creative arts, and all this. We need to protect their creativity. And we must say also that in the future, the minister will decide the fees. So this time, when we can play music all but copying with other artists, it has to be protected. And you have got to have the rights to play that. And this will be an encouragement to our musicians, our creative arts people, where Okata keen, and it's where they will earn their bread and butter. Mr. Speaker said, with respect to regional leadership and infrastructure development, we are not working in isolation. In 2026, Solomon Islands will lead regional collaboration through the Malaysian Ministers of Justice dialogue, building on successful bilateral engagement with Fiji, Papua New Guinea, Vanuatu since last year, 2024. It is a first of a kind of MSC justice collaboration through sharing expertise, strengthening justice system, and promote legal twinning across Malaysia. And I did sign a twinning agreement with Fiji, the Justice Ministry, 1 or 2, and we're looking forward for doing that the same for PNG. It's trying to get our Melanesian brothers together. We share the expertise that we have. And maybe let's comment. I just have a Minister of Justice for Fiji and delegation just pay a courtesy with Lomi, and we have a dialogue. And I must share with this House, he was so impressed with the GIMS system, Lomi. They never had one. And then he said, this is what I'll take home, Minister. And yes, give me share. That's where the twinning arrangements have come in. And we share, we have our officers going down over to 1 or 2, the law reform, Fiji, DPP, and they send the officers to here. And that's how we enhance our learning and collaboration as Melanesian brothers. At home in 2026, we will take bold steps toward judiciary autonomy and initiate infrastructure development for our justice ground, including plans for a new High Court and Magistrate Court. The GNAT has committed, and I have said it earlier, 18 million to kickstart this project, with a vision to unveil them during our 50th independence anniversary in July 2028. And I must say, these are ambitious goals, but they are achievable with God's help. To this end, we will pursue discussion and winning bilateral partners to drive these projects. And we must say that one of our flagship that we will really look forward for is the giving judiciary the autonomy. I've already produced a white paper to Cabinet, it was approved, and then I've asked the legal officers to actually start to work on the drafting. And with that, we hope the court circuits, the judiciary, so once we buy one of this budget, they may pass him now, the judiciary will have their budget intact, ready. And when it comes to their work programs, the court circuits and all this, no need for go wait for treasury down for payment. And sometimes it never came out, and the court circuits are not held as planned. This will give them the administrative autonomy to carry out their work without having to wait for funding assistance from the government. So this is one of the major leverage that we would like to see if this autonomy gets through. Above all, we must dare to think big and look ahead. Mr. Speaker, say in closing, in 2026, my ministry and the National Judiciary will initiate challenging projects as that of a High Court, the Justice Ground, for legal agencies. We will dare to do this, not because they are easy, but because they are hard, but left unprioritized since 1978. And I must say that the Justice Ground, there's where Watamansa Peple Lemia, next year we will kickstart the project. And we are optimistic that we will get it through before our the 50th anniversary, Blamila 28. We would like to present that to the government, a new justice precinct. And that is being optimistic, but we will see how best we can achieve this. Furthermore, important reforms mentioned are not just about laws, they are about building a nation where justice is accessible, institutions are strong, and opportunities are abundant. Let us dare to pursue these goals, because when justice thrives, our people thrive. Finally, in light of the blessed weekend that is ahead of us, I will share my Christmas greetings on Easter during my speech on the motion of Synedia. So I will not do that now, but I wish you all a God's blessing. And I thank you for listening. It's gone past lunch hour, but thank you for giving me the time, Mr. Speaker. And with these few remarks, I support the bill and I resume my seat. Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Minister. Honourable members, I think I will now suspend Parliament and will resume at 2 and continue with the debates before us. Thank you.